Okay, so if we are going to be fruitful, if we want to be a blessing to God and to others, then we need more than just head knowledge, right? We need skills to be able to put the knowledge into action. And if the guy who wanted to borrow the car goes off with the car and run over someone, or if he outruns the police with drugs that he's smuggling, that's not right. So that's why we need character. We need values that shape our choices. We need knowledge. So it's about what we know. We need skills. It's about what we can do. And we need character. And this is about what is valuable to us. And everyone can become fruitful according to the abilities God has given. In this course, we are helping teachers to make plans for every student to grow in knowledge and understanding. So, this is what they know, to grow in skills, the abilities to apply what they know, and to grow in their character, the motivation to use their knowledge and the skills blessing to others and to honor God. And the question now is, how can we do that? And in order to answer that question, we would think about three questions which will help us. The first question is, why do we teach? The second is, how do we teach? And the third, of course, is, what do we teach? We can use any curriculum might be required and do it in a way that brings understanding, that develop skills, and that grows character. Now, let's think about our own experience. I'm going to ask half of the group to discuss these two questions. First, how has your understanding changed about why we teach? Second, how could that change the way you teach? So those are the two questions half of the group will discuss. And the other half will discuss the following two questions. First, how has your understanding of how we teach changed through this course? And the second question, how has that changed your learning? So the questions you will be discussing in your. Our goals for you are to increase your understanding of biblical foundations in education. Another goal that we have for you is to help you develop new skills to help others learn and grow and feel comfortable in the learning community. And our third goal for you is to help you to have a new sense of how God values yourself and your work as an educator and others that you work with, including staff, students, and families. So we have developed this course so you and the teachers you will lead can experience for yourself how you can teach to grow in understanding, in skills, and in character. And with that, there are three main areas we focus on. The first is how to use effective activities in learning. The second, how to have meaningful discussions in learning. And the third, how God is a regular part of the learning process and relationship. And we will discuss each of these a little bit so you know what is covered in this course. And you can be part of leading the teachers in these areas as you work with them. So now for our next step, I'm going to ask you to memorize someone. And you can do whatever you find helpful to be able to do. You can move around. You can do whatever will help you to be able to memorize someone. So go for it. So my question for you now is, what did you do that helped you to memorize the verse quickly or easily? Um, yeah, I give you a few seconds to talk about that. So what did you do that helped you to memorize the verse quickly? We found out that everyone has a way that they learn best. To help every student learn and become fruitful, we want to use as many ways to teach as possible. And we have done this in this training, and it will happen in teachers' training. So some of us learn best by seeing what we learn, right? Maybe you had to look at the verse, maybe you had to write it down and to underline it and to draw pictures. So maybe in that category of people that learn best in by seeing what you are learning, right? So I'm going to invite you right now to take 5 seconds and draw an eye on one of the piece of paper you received earlier. Just draw an eye. Because some of us learn best by seeing what we are learning. Some learn best by hearing. So if you are in this category, as you were doing the exercise, as you were trying to memorize someone, maybe you had to whisper the verses to yourself. Maybe you had to make up a little rhyme or rhythm, right? So if you are in this category, maybe that's what you had to do. I'm going to ask you now to draw an ear on one of the piece of paper you received earlier. So draw an ear, 5 seconds. And some of us learn best by moving or touching. So if you are in this category of people, maybe you have to walk around while when you were thinking and using the hand motions and just moving, right? So I'm going to ask you to draw a hand on the paper that you received. Cool. So I'm going to ask you now, who thinks it helps them to be able to see what they are learning? Hold your picture up. If you are in this category of people who think it's helpful for you to see what you are learning, great. Raise your picture up if you think you are in this category of people who think it helps you to to hear. It helps you that hearing is a big part of helping you to learn. Hold this picture up. And lastly, hold this picture up if you think you fall in this category of people who think they learn best by doing. Great. And now I'm going to have you to go and get into groups. So the eyes would be in one group, the ears in one group, and the hands in one group. And in your group, you are going to write down the ways you have seen us use this type of training, this type of learning in this training. So you can talk about how being able to learn this way has affected your learning. Okay, so let's say you are in the hand group. So in your group, you would discuss what you have seen us, right? Use this type of learning in this training. Same with the ears people and with the eyes people. okay? And then you will just talk about how being able to learn and and you will talk about how it has helped you to be able to learn this way, how this has affected your learning. So that's what you will be doing in your different groups. Well, we hope you have found that it makes learning easier and more enjoyable when we use many different ways to learn. In this course, you may find that you think the teachers you are working with will be helped better by using a different kind of learning activity than what is on the recording. Maybe you didn't understand very well, or maybe you couldn't use the same kind of materials that were used in the recording. We want you to know that you can change things around to make learning better for the teachers you are working with. You might get an idea for a different activity that helps them learn the same idea. You might want to use different resources to do the activity. For example, maybe you don't have a whiteboard. What could you do? You could write things on paper, clip them to a sheet that you hang in the classroom or on a string put up around the room. Or maybe you don't have a big sheet of paper and crayons for groups to make a poster. What could you do? Teachers could gather up small objects and make a picture by arranging objects. Do that, right? And teachers could also just gather up small objects and make a picture by arranging objects. So by activities is an important way to become fruitful using curriculum to increase knowledge and understanding. So what you know, skills, the abilities to apply what they know, and character, the motivation to use their knowledge and the skills to be a blessing to others and to honor God. So that's why we use them in this course and why we want teachers to use them in the so you can change the activities and the materials to help your teachers learn.